So that's why in today's activity, what we're going to do is I want you guys to think about everything you're thankful for, because it's going to come in handy with our activity. But what we'll be making are blessing trees. So inshallah, after the session, I want you guys to gather your supplies and work with your families on making and building out these blessing trees. So what you'll be needing is some construction paper, right? This is for the leaves. And you'll be needing some newspaper and also a pair of scissors, markers, and some tape, which I have right here as well. So any kind of tape is fine. I'm using just normal clear tape. Masking tape works really well with this activity as well. So what you're going to do is I'm using 4 sheets of newspaper, and you're going to connect them. So this is one sheet and this is the second sheet. So what I did was I went ahead and I taped them together so that they're connected. So I have 3 sheets that I've done so far. I'm going to go ahead and tape the last sheet as well. So I wanted to show you how to do that. So what you do is you take this piece of newspaper and you're gonna, on your table, you're gonna line them up so that it's easier to tape. So I'm gonna line these up, and what I do is I slightly overlap it so that there's no blanks or there's no empty space in between them. So you're gonna line them up, and then you'll take your tape, and you don't need a lot of tape, you just need enough to like apply it vertically. So about that much of a piece of tape for each connection should be fine. So once you've connected it, just go ahead, and what I did was I put it in the middle over here. So I taped it right there. Then what you'll be doing is, this is a bonus thing that you could use, but if you have a tube from your paper towel roll, you can go ahead and actually like use that to help you roll it up. But you want to keep a kind of loose roll going. And this is going to be the base of our tree. And I'll show you how that builds out. But you're going to go ahead and start rolling about that much. So about the width of a paper towel roll too. You're going to just continue to roll that up. And try to keep it somewhat tight, but you still need it a little bit wide and loose so that you can pull your tree out. So this is kind of like the literal version of paper comes from trees. So we're going to use paper to build our own tree as well. So just go ahead and finish rolling it. You can do this with 4 sheets. So I used 4 sheets. You can use 6, 8, however many you want. And if you don't have newspaper, you can also use computer paper or construction paper and connect all of those as well. So my sheets are a little bit longer from the newspaper, and I also have, construction paper about this size. But if your construction paper or your computer paper is a little bit smaller, like the normal paper size, then I would recommend not 4 sheets, but I recommend 8 to 10 sheets, and you tape them together. So you have this long sheet, and we rolled it up like this, and you see where this edge meets this side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just make sure it's nice and even, and you wanna tape the seam closed here, only halfway though. So you're gonna start about halfway and tape it all the way down to the bottom, and that will be the base of our tree. So take your tape and start from the bottom. And what I'm doing is I'm doing it at the seam. And I'm gonna also, so put that at the seam, but I took a little bit at the bottom here, and I'm gonna tuck that underneath so that it's nice. Or actually, no, don't do that. That's not a smart idea. Don't do that. Never mind. Only do it against the seam. So I'm just gonna open the tape that I just did. And we'll do that step that I just did at the very end. So now that we have our newspaper roll created, we're going to take a pair of scissors and ask your parents and use them wisely. And if you're not able to use the scissors, have your parents or your siblings help you. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut 4 slits. So you're going to literally just go into here and cut all of this at the same time. And you're going to cut down about halfway the opposite side. So this is the open side, and this is the side that we have to cut on. this side you're not going to cut on where you taped it. So you're going to go ahead and cut down about halfway. Just like that. And you'll make 4 slits. That's 1. That's 2. 1, 2, 3. And so that's, and what you'll do then is you'll fold these over kind of so that they are falling this way, falling outwards. So just like this, you'll kind of fold these outwards and just hold them down slightly for like a few seconds just so that they stay down like this. And then what you're gonna do is, now that they're folded outwards, you're gonna put your 2 fingers inside and you're gonna start to lift. And this is why the tape underneath wasn't a good idea in the beginning, because we want this to separate. So as it's separating, you're gonna continue to pull up and pull up and pull up. And you can see that we're building a tree. So I've pulled up, and this is about the size of it. And what I'm going to do now is, and what you can do is at the bottom, if it's flimsy just from the 1 layer, I'm gonna actually just pull it down slightly, just so that it's a little bit thicker at the bottom. But this is my tree. And now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and tape the bottom folded in the way that I had initially shown you. So this, you can do like 2 or 3 pieces of tape just so that it stays nice and sturdy. And then, so this is the tree that we've built. And I want you guys to think of each of these pieces as a branch. So something that I want you to do, so once your tree frame or your base is created, you can go ahead and set this aside. So I'm going to put this on the side for now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make our leaves. So with your leaves, you want to make the shape of a leaf. And as you know, there's a bunch of different types of trees, a bunch of different types of leaves. I'm going to stay simple, and I'm going to actually use a pencil, and I'm going to just draw out the shape of like almost like a football type of shape. And that's going to be my leaf that I'm going to cut out. So it's kind of like an eye shape or a football shape, but if you can see that, it's like that, right? It's like this. And what you'll do is you'll draw out a bunch of leaves, and then you'll cut your leaf out. And once you've cut your leaf out, or all of your leaves out, carefully cut them out. And then what you'll do is, using your markers, you're gonna write down what you're thankful for. You're gonna write down what Allah has blessed you with. And then I'll show you what to do with your leaf after that, inshallah. But so I have 1 leaf here, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my markers, and I'm going to write down what Allah has blessed me with. Again, so the colors that I'm using a green construction paper just because leaves are generally green. You can use any color you want. So even if you're not using newspaper and you're using construction paper for the base of your tree, you can make it a rainbow tree, you can make it a pink tree, a purple tree, a green tree, a blue tree, whatever you want, whatever you have, and whatever is available to you. Because remember, we're thankful that we even have these supplies to use. So I have my leaf right here, and I'm gonna write down that what I'm thankful for is Islam, because I was blessed to have Islam in my life. And what I want is, I want you guys to write these, or try to write these by yourself if you know how to write. It'll help you practice your writing and your penmanship so that you can read clearly. So I went ahead and I wrote down Islam on my leaf. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tree, and on my branch, I'm gonna choose a random branch. So I'm gonna use this branch right here, and I'm gonna tape my leaf to this branch. And as you can see, there's a lot of branches on here. So what I want you guys to work on is I want you guys to actually work on thinking about every single day, sitting down for a few minutes and thinking about everything that you are blessed with, everything that Allah has given you. And every day, if you're able to make a new leaf, make 2 or 3 new leaves, and continue to do this every single day of Ramadan. And inshallah, by the end of Ramadan, your tree will be completed and it'll be filled with all of your blessings and all of your leaves that you have. So I went ahead and I added some tape to the end of this, and I'm just going to stick it onto this branch. And there is my first blessing on my tree. So once I have all of my blessings on here, it'll be overflowing with blessings, because we realize that our lives are overflowing with blessings from Allah as well. So it's always good to think about that, you know, like right now it's so nice out today. So alhamdulillah, the sun is out, you know. Something else to think about is, alhamdulillah, we're able to be in Ramadan and we're able to reach Ramadan and take part and fast and pray and still be part of a community together. I know we can't be together in person, but alhamdulillah, we're online together and we're able to create our own community that way as well. So think about all of the things and all of the blessings that you have and say thank you to Allah for them and reflect on them. And as a family, what you can do is, before you even cut out your leaves, you guys can write down a list of everything you're thankful for, so that when you are writing on your leaves, you already know what to write. And it'll be easier that way. For those of you that don't have all of these materials, so if you don't have paper and you don't have markers and things, or if you have markers but you don't have enough construction paper to make, you know, your trees as well as your leaves, what you can do is you can make a drawing of it. And again, like every day, expand on the drawing. So what I did was, I have a little whiteboard, but you can use a poster board as well. So I have a whiteboard, and as you can see, I went ahead and I drew the base of a tree, and I started drawing my leaves onto the tree directly. So if you don't know how to draw a tree, all you're going to do, or all it really comprises of, is you're going to make a couple of lines here. So you're going to start with 2 lines, okay? So I'm going to make a new tree over here. So you're going to start with 2 lines, and then you'll give it a little base. And then from these 2 lines, you'll expand outwards, kind of making a V. And then you'll make another V inside of that. And then you'll just start making your branches off of that. And so what's good is if you start with one side, so I started with one side here, and I started adding my leaves. And then I'm going to expand that way. So once I add more leaves, it's going to fill up this side of the tree. And if I have more space, so if I decide that only here I want this leaf, then I can add a branch here and I can make another leaf there. So this way, if you don't want to use a lot of paper, or you don't have a lot of paper, you can use this option as well and draw out your tree and color it and all of that as well. So that's our activity for today. And like I said, I really want you guys to focus on and think about this every single day. What are you blessed with? What are you thankful for? And make leaves every day. And inshallah, at the end of the month, if you still made your tree, I'll work on mine too. And inshallah, at the end of the month of Ramadan, we can all share a photo of our trees, or we can turn on our video and show each other what our trees look like, inshallah. Also just a note to the parents, if you guys are making the crafts at home, I would love to see pictures of it as well. So if you guys could send me a few photos of any of the crafts that you've made. I know last week we made the Ramadan lanterns and we wrote out our Ramadan goals. So if any of your kids did that, and if any of you decide to make the blessing trees, would love to see that as well. I'm gonna go ahead and add my email address in the chat feature. GD.net. It's just sistersyd@igd.net. You can email me with photos there, inshallah, and I would love to show them on our social media accounts, and I'd love for you guys to share with one another as well. But before we end, does anybody have any questions at all? And if not, I'll just continue to tell you guys that inshallah next week we're going to continue with the 12:30 time, unless if that does not work for you guys and you guys would like to start later instead, just let me know. You can email me at sistersyd@iagd.net, inshallah, and we can change the time accordingly, or we can leave it at the 12:30 slot if that's what you all prefer. But it looks like there's no questions. So inshallah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's session. I hope all of you are having a good fast and enjoying your Ramadan thus far. And I wish you and your families a blessed Ramadan Mubarak. Inshallah, I will see you guys here next week at 12:30. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Jazakallah for joining.